Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Motivation, the show where we help you become the best version of yourself. My name is Muhammad Kesam and thank you for joining us on the second part of our 12-part series to become the best version of yourself. As we spoke about last week, the gunpowder, the bullet method, the ability to empty the gunpowder, and I hope that each one of you has been trying it over this past week. I hope that it's helped you. I hope that you feel empty. I hope that you understand what it means to empty yourself and how much was actually sitting in there. Get in touch with us. Tell us about it. Tell us how it's helped you. Tell us your journey through the gunpowder. The details are on the screen and you'd be able to keep in touch with us, reach out to us and tell me exactly what it is that you're doing and how it has helped you as an individual. The second part of our series is something that I think is very important in today's day and age. In a world filled with information out there, whereas before, if we needed to seek knowledge, we had to go to a library, we had to discuss with people, we had to understand what it is that we were looking for before we even went out. Today's day and age, information gets thrown at us. Information is in our face constantly. And unlike before, where we needed to learn, in today's 21st century, I think it's more important for us to unlearn a lot of the things that we have been taught. Because the reality is, it's clouding us and it's making our emotions run wild. Words have been thrown around. Disorders is something that everyone is suffering from at the moment. Understand your emotions and maybe, just maybe, we will be able to come out on the other side feeling a lot better with our EQ levels rising as we understand how and what it takes to be able to deal with your emotions. Emotions are something that in an instant, it can be changed. The chemical reaction from something being said, when that chemical reaction happens internally, it starts releasing things that make us feel a certain way. But why do we give words the power to make us feel a certain way? If I had to say something derogatory to you in a language that you do not understand, would it affect you? Surely it wouldn't affect you because you have no idea what I am saying. So why, when someone says it to you in the language that you do understand, are you letting it in? It is you who has the power to decide what you want to let inside of you and what you want to set up a wall and keep that barrier there for. It is you who allows it to decide what goes in, what triggers you, what sets that gunpowder on fire. It is you who is in control of your emotions. And you might be wondering why I have a water bottle with me right now. It is because one of the easiest, most beautiful ways to track your emotional well-being through a day is through the second method of our MPH method that I call the water bottle method. What is the water bottle method? If I were to tell you that I'm giving you this bottle of water and you have to walk through the desert the entire day, but all you will have is this one bottle of water, how would you look after that water? Would you take it sip by sip? Would you take a big gulp of this water? Or even worse, would you throw the water down onto the desert sand? And you might be asking, what does this have to do with emotions? How does this help my emotional well-being? Well, there's a little game of the water bottle that I like to play, and I want everyone to do this with their families at the end of a long day, where families come together and sit down with their emotional water bottle and discuss what it is that they used their emotions for in the day. And this is how the water bottle method goes. if you were walking through that desert and you were getting thirsty, you would take a small sip of this water, enough just to wet your throat, quench your thirst, and give you energy to move on to the next point where you might need the water again. What are those small sips of water when it comes to an emotion? The emotions of love, joy, gratitude, the practice of patience, the practice of charity, helping others, doing for others more than just doing for yourself. These are the things that take a little sip out of that emotional water bottle and give you enough energy to move forward, enough energy to be able to go to the next point and the next point, so that when you reach the end, your water bottle is probably only halfway. And you know, there's this joke that says, well, I mean, everyone asks it, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? And I have a different way of looking at it. At any given time, in a glass that has filled halfway with water, there is water in one half and there's air in the other half. And sometimes you just need to quench your thirst, and other times you just need to take a deep breath. So that glass will always be beneficial to you. So when you reach the end point of your day and you have half a bottle of water remaining, when you go to bed, the body will replenish your emotions. The body will go into a state of homeostasis where everything comes back up to normal, so that the next day you have a full water bottle to be able to carry you over the emotions of that day. However, if you were to reach the end of the day with an empty water bottle, the body would need to do even more to replenish it. Therefore, your sleep is not well rested. You wake up the next day tired. Your water bottle might not even be filled to the top. And then how much do you have to pull you through that difficult day? So when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, maybe reach for those emotions that take a sip from this water bottle. Maybe reach for those emotions that make you feel good inside and give you energy to move on to the next step. However, there are emotions such as anger, greed. These type of emotions take out a huge sip. If not, your entire water bottle gets emptied out with just one outburst of anger. And as we discussed last week, the gunpowder inside ignites that bullet. And when that bullet is fired, your entire water bottle will be emptied. So sometimes we wake up in the morning and the first thing that we do is fight with those around us. You have just emptied your water bottle on a wasted emotion. And now you have to go through the entire day with an empty water bottle, walking through this desert of life, knowing that you are going to be thirsty, dehydrated, and feeling completely depleted through the entire day, because you do not even have a drop of water to give love off, to give joy off, because you have emptied it all on an emotion that was unnecessary. Now, don't get me wrong. There are moments when anger is very necessary. There are moments when our life is in danger. There are things that can anger us. But we need to save our water for those moments, not on unnecessary moments that empty our water bottle. And then the third part that I spoke about. Would you empty it onto the desert sand? Firstly, nothing is going to grow on the sand. And secondly, your water is not even going into your system to quench your thirst or to rehydrate you as you go through this dehydrating day. So why would we do any of that? But each one of us does it on a daily basis through emotions such as jealousy, envy, hatred, holding on to grudges that are draining us completely. And only we know what we're feeling inside. Only we are the ones that are allowing these emotions to be living, breathing, manifesting, and growing inside of us, why would we want to waste our water on something like that? So sit with your family members and ask them, grab a water bottle for the day, take your sips out, mark it, and say what you gave off in that moment. And let the family sit around the dinner table. Put their water bottles down on the dinner table and ask each other, why is your bottle empty today? What happened? How can we help you not be angry anymore? How can we help you get rid of the jealousy? Wow, you gave off love here. I could learn from that. A father learning from a son. A mother learning from a daughter. The children learning from the parents. What a beautiful dinner table it would be. Imagine how sweet the water would be drinking from those bottles when each one of you has learned from the next how to regulate your emotions, how to deal with your emotions. And I know life gets tough. I know it's in those moments that it is very difficult. But let's change our outlook and let's look at it as moments to get rewarded for patience instead of moments of regret where our entire water bottle is emptied. Because in those moments of patience, that water tastes even sweeter. There was a study that was done called the marshmallow study, where they took 4-year-old kids and put them in rooms with cameras around them and gave them a marshmallow and told the kids that if you do not eat this marshmallow, you will get a second marshmallow. And go and watch it. It's on YouTube. It's actually quite funny, where some of the kids are circling the marshmallow with their tongue. Of course, some of the kids gave into it, and the other kids just sat back. Some turned their back to the marshmallow, out of sight, out of mind. And when they were given the second marshmallow, those kids were happy. Those that ate the marshmallow did not get the second marshmallow. But the beauty of the study was done where they took these kids 14 years later, which would make them now 18 years old. And they did a study of their schooling life, their athletic life, their cognitive abilities, their dealings with people, and their personalities on the whole. And it was those who exercised the delayed gratification, it was those who exercised patience that were told that your marks are amazing. You are doing incredible. You look at those individuals and they have excelled in every aspect of their life. Why? Because they learned that delayed gratification, also known as patience, is the way to grow as an individual. So when we have those moments, let's sip from the water of patience. Let's sip from the water of love. Take the water bottle. Use it as a method to bring your family together, to make your family understand what it is to be emotional. And in those emotional moments, we will bond as a family. Because the reality is, patience is the vehicle that will take you to the destination of gratitude. This is motivation, and let me motivate you.